Enlivening Musings and the Pleasure Fairy, here to inspire more daily pleasure and aliveness into your life. Amp up your zhuzhiness. Invite your weird out to be loved on for radical self-love, enhancing your life and relationships. Go to crystalfranco.com for free and paid experiences. How does that feel when you hear the word connection? What happens in your body? Take a moment, pause, breathe, take a moment and feel what happens in your body when you hear the word connection. Welcome to Enlivening Musings. I'm Crystal, and today I want to muse about being right versus connection. This is something that comes up in so many ways all the times in all kinds of relationships. And it can be a huge game changer if you notice when you are trying to just fight to be right versus choosing connection. And through the past week, I saw this just in a few different areas of my life, but one that was kind of fun and prominent was how I was relaying this message to one of my kids. Of course, kids have this knack for bringing out everything and anything we have to learn, reiterate, things that we're sharing with the world, all kinds of fun stuff. So it was really entertaining for me for this to come up this particular week, because it was a perfect opportunity to bring myself even deeper into its knowingness as well. Seeing how I was laying it out, the concept of when you can teach something to another, that's when you really get it, and yeah, it was just a new level of that for me. So it was kind of fun. But bringing that into real life time now to share with you, let's muse about this. Let's think about it. Let's feel on it. So if you're in some sort of conflict and you're in a position of really trying to fight to have your way or your thought or whatever it is be the right way, be the one in your rightness, you are often going against connection because you're fighting. You're in defense mode. You're trying to make it so you are right. You're trying to just show it, right? So being able to take a step back, look at it. A lot of times too, when you're in that state, it's a sign of projection. It's a sign that you are projecting something onto another person. It feels different too than when it's just like, okay, look, this is my perception. This is the way I see it. This is the way, even feeling like I can't believe you don't see it this way. It feels so different than when you're fighting for it to be right and be your way. And so feel on that. Feel on when you're in that defense mode and you're in that fight mode and you're really trying to drive something home, and how that doesn't leave space and softness for connection. You're in a fighting, armored type of stance. Of course, this doesn't have to be that you're in a physical stance against somebody, like you're going to fight them. But energetically, you can feel that you're in that zone. You're in that mode. Your energy is in that. It's either protective or kind of protruding and projecting. And when you're in a place for connection, you're a little bit softer. I mean, even feel that, like when I feel that in my body, I feel myself starting to go forward when I'm in like that, I'm right. And like, it's almost like that pointing at somebody and leaning forward. And it's like, here I am. Versus when it's like, when I think even just of the word connection, I mean, take that, just listen for a second, take a breath and hear the word connection. Connection. Right? So when you feel that, it can almost, it's like it just, for me, it kind of just tilts me back a little bit, tilts me back in my seat, and I just open a little bit more. I soften just a little bit more. And so you can even just use that word as something to help shift and pattern interrupt when you can feel that you're in this rah, rah, rah defense mode, right? This I am right and I have to prove it. So you can take that pause and just use that word if you want to, connection, choosing connection. And you'll breathe into your heart ever so slightly and you can shift. So if you're in a state of connection or wanting there to be connection or choosing for there to be more connection instead of conflict, now what? Now, how do you approach what the situation is? How do you approach what the other is saying? How do you approach what you're wanting to say? It's very similar to just getting in your heart space, getting in that love space, and being able to address the other from that place. And that takes that pause, that breath, that softening into the heart, connecting to the heart, and actively choosing that. It's choosing love. What would love do here versus my ego versus whatever this is where I'm just feeling I really have to prove that I'm right on this situation, right? And again, bring this into every relationship. This is phenomenal for romantic relationships, but it's also phenomenal for friendships and family dynamics and every relationship. So bring that to the table. And so pay attention to when this is coming up, when you're getting in that defense mode. Maybe even look at it after the fact, right? Hindsight 2020. Look at it after the fact and see, whoa, that's where I was in massive defense mode and needed to be the one who is right. Right now I'm even thinking there's somewhere in my Gene Keys profile where I'm the accuser, right? My shadow side is that of the accuser. So I am very familiar with this feeling also in being the person who is doing that. So I'm no stranger to being on this side of it. And with that, that's one of the reasons why I can even speak to this, because I've done it. I've been in that mode and I've shifted it in real time. And it's so cool to see how things shift when you shift in real time. It can happen so quickly. It doesn't always, but it can. All right. I hope that gives you some sort of sweetness in your life today so that you can maybe bring a little more connection, a little more love, a little more softness into your day and into your relationships. Thanks for tuning in. Share this with a friend to spread the love. Connect with Crystal on Instagram at @thecrystalfranco or on her site crystalfranco.com. Enjoy.